Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. This is probably going to be the last Clinton one I do for a while. I was watching Real News Network and Max Blumenthal. Max Blumenthal typically does Israel-Palestine reporting, at least that's the last few things that I've heard from him. But he's in an interview with Real News and they're asking him about some of the political things that are being discussed. So one is the book by Richard Wolff, Fire and Fury of the Donald Trump, or the incompetence of the Trump administration. And part of that, however, goes into Russiagate. And as he goes into Russiagate, Max Blumenthal makes this point that there's been somewhat of a ricochet effect, meaning the dossier is looked at with a certain amount of suspicion, and this looks kind of ridiculous, to be honest. The stuff that's in it, Trump gets peed on by a Russian hooker, or a Russian hooker pees on the bed, and Trump watches, and Vladimir Putin is using the pee-pee thing in order to blackmail Trump. This stuff's fucking outrageous. It's fucking outrageous. Then you find out that the dossier was paid for by Clintons, and it gets even more outrageous. And they're using this. A Democratic administration uses this dossier that was paid for by a Democratic campaign to create a pretext, just look and stare, or to investigate Trump in this case, to literally look at his campaign, as Trump would say, to wiretap him. And look, you can even make a case that the whole pretext of this thing, of the Trump and Russia collusion, the Mueller investigation, starts at a pretext with that dossier, the one that was paid for by his opponent, Hillary Clinton. They've screamed about this for over a year, and they found no connection. When Democrats were pressed on this, they said, trust us. Donna Brazile told Tim Black, trust me, trust us, we have the information. Which Tim Black should have responded, then why didn't you put it out? Are you telling us that you have this secret information that shows Trump colluded with Russia, but in no way you want to put this information out to the public? You want the public to trust an organization that had cheated the candidate and has lied through their teeth about that cheating, and then still never come to Jesus about it. Just say we need to move forward, not look back. But trust us on this. Okay. Max Blumenthal gets to the point of making this point of saying, look, that stuff is ricocheted. And now they're talking about this investigation into Hillary Clinton by the FBI. And yes, it may be politically motivated to some degree, but there is a there. I'm gonna let him tell it. Some of this stuff is, again, don't mean to beat a dead horse. And I know I'm beating a dead horse on this. But I beat a dead horse because I kind of want to spike the football a little bit. I have screamed about this from the beginning of me starting this channel, saying, yes, you may get her for the email thing, but the corruption, the real stuff that you want to look for, is in the WikiLeaks documents. The pay-for-play politics that's written in bold print, not in bold print, but in black and white, where you can look at what was taking place, the things that they were doing, and the pay-for-play politics. The email thing, yeah, the guy might have changed, what he was going to say about the email thing, meaning the investigation was careless or something else, whatever the wording is. But the case that's to be made, if the case is to be made at all, deals with the Clinton Foundation and the monetization of the State Department, meaning not knowing where the Clinton Foundation ended and the State Department began. You give money in one end to the private organization, and you somehow get access to the government of the United States, representing Hillary Clinton herself in the capacity of the State Department. Let's take a listen to Max Blumenthal.
Is that the forces that initiated this Trump-Russia collusion are starting to experience blowback, particularly the Clinton campaign. The latest episode is the FBI investigation into the Clinton Foundation. Now, we can say, yeah, sure, maybe it's politicized, but there is a there. Not only did Hillary Clinton refuse to disclose a $1 million donation that Qatar made to the Clinton Foundation. Qatar, by the way, is the, mecca of feminism, the absolute, shatterer of the glass ceiling.
Just so you know, he's being extremely flipping there. He's being sarcastic. Qatar is the opposite of shatter of the glass ceiling. He's making this point that this woman believes that just because she's a woman, that she's also a feminist just by virtue of being a woman. However, at the same token, is willing to take money from sources and from countries that are extraordinarily repressive with regards to women. He's trying to say that there's this cognitive dissonance there, that there's this break in the logic. If you're a feminist, why are you taking all of this money from this place that's repressive towards women? Does your feminism only go so far in the United States? I mean, come on. So that's the point he's trying to make. He's being sarcastic. Let's keep going.
She refused to report that donation to the State Department. Tens of millions of dollars of donations rolled in from other feminist champions like the government of Saudi Arabia and Algeria, who were then seeking arms deals through the Clinton State Department. Saudi Arabia, under Clinton's watch, with Clinton's authorization as Secretary of State, received a $29 billion arms deal as it was making these donations. Boeing got the lion's share of the profits in that arms deal, and Boeing was a massive donor to the Clinton Foundation as well, along with Honeywell, Hawker Beechcraft, and other arms industry affiliates. General Electric donated $1 million to the Clinton Foundation. General Electric owns 49% of NBC. And guess who got the big job at NBC? Chelsea Clinton. I think she made $26,000 for each interview she conducted, which were these just, boilerplate puff interviews with celebrities. And she did like 5 of them and got paid a hefty sum. So there's so many conflicts of interest here, and it deserves to be investigated. I mean, this is pay for play, influence peddling, and corruption at the highest level. And, I'm happy to see it play out through this investigation. But that's really all we're looking at here, ultimately, through Russiagate, is corruption.
He's right. He's absolutely right. I mean, if you're giving Bill Clinton a huge amount of money while a request is into the State Department for something that you yourself want, you can understand that there's a pressure in that process. Meaning, you're giving this person money, and at the same token, this person is making some decision on something that you want. So you want weapons deals, you want weapon sales, and at the same token, you're giving me a bunch of money. Am I more inclined to grant those weapon sales if you're giving me billions of dollars? Probably, yeah. Or millions of dollars, yeah, probably. If you're giving my husband just blunt cash for speeches, am I more inclined to grant whatever you want? If that's a visit, if that's a weapons deal, if that's some kind of support, am I more inclined to do it if you are giving me money for it? And the answer, of course, is yes. It's called a bribe. It's corruption. So these Democrats who are making this point of, oh, well, I mean, they're just trying to obfuscate from the Russiagate thing. That may be true, but it doesn't necessarily mean that there's not a there in order to investigate. And I got to be honest, this slush fund has gone on for far too long. Corruption, it needs to be challenged. It's not something that should just be, oh, well, corruption, it happens. No, regardless of your political allegiances and political alliances, the last thing that you should want, meaning any person with any degree of integrity in regards to how this government should work, should be against corruption. I don't care if that's in the Trump administration. I don't care if that's in the Clinton administration. I don't care if that's in a Bernie Sanders administration. I don't care. I have no political allegiances on this. I don't want this to be a witch hunt, so don't misunderstand me. I don't want this to be a politically motivated witch hunt, meaning them going after her and it's a foregone conclusion that she's guilty. No. If you believe that a special prosecutor can investigate the Trump administration fairly and earnestly, then I don't see why you can't say a special prosecutor can't do the same thing for Hillary Clinton. But it should be an actual investigation. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. So that's Max Blumenthal. Max Blumenthal pays attention to this stuff all the time, and some of this stuff I did not know myself. I think some of that I did put into the other video, but I wanted him to kind of I wanted him to get across some of the other stuff that I didn't know about. So I will leave it at that. Alright guys, if you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support through Patreon. Thanks, guys. Come on.